Autophagy in the brain, particularly within the hypothalamus, plays a surprisingly vital role in regulating appetite, satiety, and energy expenditure, functions that lie at the very core of body weight control and metabolic balance. The hypothalamus serves as the brain's command center for sensing and responding to nutritional status. It integrates hormonal signals from the body, including leptin, insulin, ghrelin, and nutrients like glucose and fatty acids, and translates them into behavioral and physiological responses that influence hunger and energy use. What has emerged from recent research is that autophagy, a process once thought to be limited to cell survival and damage control, is also a critical modulator of these central metabolic processes. In neurons within the hypothalamus, autophagy helps maintain cellular homeostasis by clearing out damaged mitochondria, misfolded proteins, and other forms of stress-induced debris. But beyond simple cleanup, it influences the activity and function of key neuropeptides involved in appetite regulation. For example, in the arcuate nucleus of the hypothalamus, two groups of neurons, NPY/AGRP neurons that stimulate hunger and PUMC neurons that suppress it, respond to energy signals by adjusting their output. Autophagy supports the integrity and responsiveness of these neurons. When autophagic activity is intact, the brain can accurately interpret satiety signals and suppress appetite when energy is sufficient. However, in obesity and aging, autophagy in the hypothalamus often becomes impaired. This dysfunction leads to a breakdown in the communication between the brain and peripheral metabolic organs. For instance, leptin resistance, a hallmark of obesity, is thought to be influenced by disrupted hypothalamic autophagy. Under normal conditions, leptin binds to receptors in the hypothalamus and signals satiety. But when autophagy is defective, receptor signaling is impaired, and the brain fails to register fullness, driving continued food intake despite sufficient or excessive energy stores. Similar problems occur with insulin signaling, further compounding the issue and pushing the system toward overeating and fat accumulation. Animal models have shown that genetically disabling autophagy in hypothalamic neurons leads to significant metabolic dysregulation, including increased food intake, reduced energy expenditure, and rapid weight gain. On the other hand, enhancing autophagy in these same neurons can reverse these effects, restoring hormonal sensitivity and normal feeding behavior. This makes hypothalamic autophagy a promising target for future therapeutic interventions aimed at addressing obesity and related disorders from the top down, by fixing the brain's control systems, rather than merely treating the downstream symptoms. The good news is that hypothalamic autophagy is responsive to lifestyle factors. Intermittent fasting and exercise, which stimulate autophagy in peripheral tissues, also enhance autophagic activity in the brain. These interventions help restore proper signaling between the gut, fat stores, and the hypothalamus, which can reduce cravings and normalize energy regulation. Certain nutrients, like polyphenol found in green tea, turmeric, or berries, also appear to support neuroprotective autophagy, offering an accessible dietary means of supporting central metabolic regulation. Still, caution is warranted. Excessive or misregulated autophagy in the brain could, in some circumstances, lead to neurodegeneration or impair critical signaling pathways. The goal is not to stimulate autophagy indiscriminately, but to restore its natural, responsive rhythm, activated under stress, reduced under abundance, and properly balanced for long-term stability. In conclusion, autophagy in the hypothalamus is a critical, though often overlooked, player in the control of appetite and energy expenditure. Its dysfunction in obesity leads to a fundamental miscommunication between the brain and the body, allowing excessive food intake and impaired energy use to persist. But this system is adaptable. By reactivating hypothalamic autophagy through fasting, movement, and supportive nutrition, it may be possible to reset central metabolic control and address obesity at its neurological root, restoring not only physical health, but the brain's ability to recognize and regulate the body's true energy needs.